So much for this informative presentation and full of information, and actually very impressive how much information you covered in your workshop, and given the number of participants and the differentiation between their levels and of knowledge and levels of application. And I'm actually really impressed with the outcomes, like with your stats of the pre and post test. Like I see now that more than actually 80% answered the most of the questions. So, any questions? We'll start with Hadi later. Wait. The other fellows.
This is discrimination.
I also want to congratulate you on the work that you've done and the participation, how much information you were able to get out. My question is, follow-up. What were the new questions that came up as a result of the work that you did? What were the unanswered questions? Things that you would go back and change the next time?
In our labs, we don't provided all the equipment that should be provided in each lab. When the student asked me why we didn't have eye wash or safety showers or blanket fire even, I don't know what to answer them. Why in our faculty this all equipment are not provided. This made me. This is the next step for us to take to ask for our facility to provide the labs with this general equipment that should be in each lab.
And the reason I asked that question was that I was thinking that this is something that provides good support for having discussions with your administration about the kinds of things that must be done if you're going to worry about chemical and biological safety.
Several questions. That was excellent. Thank you very much. Did you say what the chemical was that killed the young woman? Do you know what chemical it was?
We give them a general knowledge about what are the symbols that should be put in each chemicals.
He's asking about the one.
Yes, the young woman who died. Do you know which what chemical it was?
All I know that she was doing an experiment called nitrogen. I don't know. All I know from this accident, there is a gas come from the experiment. This experiment shouldn't be conducted in open page. It should be conducted in fume hoods. But in the lab there is no fume hoods for such an experiment. The experiment doing an open page. So they inhaled all the gas come out from the experiment.
And the other question I have is, what safety training do your young students have before they work in the laboratory? What year? It's my teeth that may be saying that. What year do students start doing practical work, and what safety training do they have?
To be honest, all the safety precautions they did in the lab, they wear the lab coat and the gloves. Other than this, no other precautions take, which is totally wrong.
Do you train them?
In the laboratory, we don't have the facility to train them, and there is no courses. Even if the first section, we told them the biosafety or have the deal in the lab. This is what we are intended to do in the future. But right now, we don't have any training for the new student to learn the safety in it.
May I just continue briefly? What I have had some other chemistry students do for a colleague in Jordan is that before the students do the practical, you get them to read what they're going to do, and you get them to identify. So each time you set aside 15 or 20 minutes, and you ask the students, they can work in groups, but you ask them to identify the hazards they are going to encounter, and what the problems are, what the risks are for dealing with these things, and what precautions they need to take. So you can use each practical exercise as a training for the students. So just get them to think about it. So don't you tell them what to do, have them work it out themselves. And in this way, what you're doing is you're training them in risk assessment. And so to do that for each experiment they're going to do, and then anything they miss, you can have a discussion with at the end. So it doesn't need to take a long time, but it could be part and parcel of their laboratory experience, and train them as they're doing things. So get them into thinking that they need to think about the safety issues themselves, and in this way, you're providing a good training for the students.
Alistair, are you wearing a wire? Are you replying?
I am, yes.
You're translating.
Okay, then.
I just have one comment. I just noticed that some of the questions in the assessment form, like the one for the MCA material safety data sheets, is log question, and the activity and the objective you have done for this one is a hoc question. So for the MCA material safety data sheets, the activity was completely hoc. So you showed them some photos and you showed them to write a report what's included in the bottle and stuff. The question in the assessment form was completely locked, like define material safety data sheets. So there is no alignment between the assessment in such, like this is an example, and the activity and objective. So like remember in Egypt 2 or Egypt 1, we knew that we have to align the objectives with the activities and assessment in order to be all hooks, because we thought like if you are hook and dog, you are bringing frustration for your students, right? So this is only my only comment.
Thank you for your comment. And actually, I wanted to ask you myself, how do you plan, or how you do see this kind of information or knowledge will be sustained in your institute? Given that Alistair really asked a very good question, that as you said, that maybe there's no prior safety training before students start working in the lab. I'm talking equally about the undergrad and postgrad. And now you give this workshop with collaboration with your professors and colleagues, and you have seen how much this knowledge and information affected the behavior of the participants. What's your recommendation? How to sustain this knowledge?
We recommend to, inshallah, this will happen in the future, take an action on this in the future. We need to provide a course about biosafety in lab. There is actually a course, but it is in the fourth grade. We need in the for first year student to know about safety in lab. So we need to make a course about lab safety. Second, in the sections, we as an administrator and the assistant lecturer, in the beginning of each lab, we, as you doctor said, provide the participant or student what are the hazards and what are the safety precautions they should take in each lab. And for one of the participants, they should make a grade on a punishment activity in the lab who are following the rules, and the ones that are not following the rules will lose his grade. And we financially will ask the faculty to finance us to provide all the safety equipment that are absent in the lab. like eye wash or fire blanket.
Very good. Any more questions?
Thanks for your presentation. Just comment, do you think if you change your target worker group from being undergraduate student to postgraduate, do you think that you will find a change or something different? I mean that you think that the postgraduate student have sufficient awareness about bio-safety lab or something like that?
Of course. We want all students to included in this workshop with different from different years to all make awareness. And first year student was very interested in knowing all about it. They asked me after we finished the workshop. The next day they asked me it will be repeated again. We need all our students, our colleagues that couldn't participate in the workshop to learn all about the biosafety. For sure, including students is a very useful tool for us to reach our goal.
Okay. Thank you very much. I actually found the fact that you told us about the lack of knowledge that you found in the pretest very revealing, and I hope we can come back to this at the end of the day when we have an hour and a half, because I want to see what the other activities sort of uncovered. To me, this is very revealing that you started, in fact, with an audience that lacked a lot of the knowledge you wanted to impart. And I think this is very important to come back to. Would you agree, Alistair? Yes?
I'm also very clear. Why all the foreign collaborators are?
I'm wearing this. What? I don't know.
It's because it's like when Alistair was talking, it had a very loud sound, and also when you're talking, so maybe have a microphone embedded. I don't know. Thank you so much, Hadir, for this wonderful session.